Lawrence, one of the not one of probably the smartest consultant I've ever worked with. Thanks for taking the
Good.
time at Summit. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, who you work for, and what you do there.
First of all, thanks for the compliment, Tim. My name is Lawrence Gilliam. I'm a solution architect at the Next Tech Group based in our Los Angeles office, and I've known Tim for quite a while.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I never got to. I got to ask you first about your running these days. I can't remember your target. It was something like I know you've run a marathon, and I think your target was like hitting your the weight that you were at 18 years old. Is that what it was?
So that was a kind of a secondary like goal during the pandemic was to get down to college weight, and I did achieve that. But the big goal was to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So I'm happy, ecstatic, head over heels to say that I actually achieved that goal this year. So I'll be running Boston in April. So it's
Wow,
been a
that's
goal since
amazing.
1999. The key is you just got to keep running. The time uh, cutoff gets easier as you get older. So if you just keep running,
Just keep
keep
going,
just
huh?
keep at it long enough, you'll eventually make it. So
Well,
I
that's
finally made
impressive.
it.
I've always looked up to you not only as a consultant, but as a person who knows how to balance consulting with life. You know, the way you were able to coach your son's baseball team, the way you're able to keep your running going and survive for decades in mid market ERP consulting is just really impressive to me. I've always looked up to you for that.
Well, thanks, Tim. And it's like I think we've had plenty of conversations about this. I mean, you just have to have you have to have that balance, right? So that's one of the things that's really great about this profession, though. That if you can find projects that are interesting, they keep you motivated to stay up on the latest technologies, the latest best practices. But also, because we often are in control of a lot of, if we're really doing things the way that we should, we can actually have some sanity to our lives, and we have space for some of the other things that are important.
That's awesome. So what then about with that kind of mindset? Is there any special approach that you have when you go to an Acumatica summit? How do you game plan for what you're going to accomplish there?
Right. So I mean, really the primary thing that I try to do when I get to the summit is to connect with people that um, I typically would only see in an email stream, or maybe on a Zoom call, or a Teams call, just to press the flesh with folks, because so much of the value in this is just about the community, right? And so that's my first thing is, you come to registration, you look forward to that opening reception with all of the ISVs, where you really get a chance to drill deep into some of the new improvements in some of the ISV products that you work with, and even new ones that you haven't heard of yet, and also run into folks that you've got battle wounds with. So that's like my first thing, and then you look at the session list, right, and you look forward to the keynotes, and you look forward specifically to my favorite part of the keynotes are always the technology briefs, and the forward thinking technology, and Acumatica is always great about that, right? And then this year I took a little bit of a different path, though. So because I'm responsible for a lot of different um, prospects at Next Tech, I'm always looking to get backfill information on industries, or verticals that I'm not necessarily natively strong in. So I usually spend the majority of my time doing that at Summit, but this time I kind of just played it by ear and with just interesting sessions. Yeah, yeah.
So would you say how do you handle the sessions? Do you try to pack sessions in during the day, or do you like intentionally skip some sessions just to give you more people time?
No, I actually I hate missing the sessions. So
I'm the
I like
same
to,
way.
yeah, yeah. So I will give up lunch, or hang around the floor even as it closes, to make sure that I talk to people, but I don't like to miss the sessions.
Any standout sessions so far that you've been in? Anything you learned that you didn't know before?
So I actually found Joy's AI ML session interesting, just because um, we see it slowly making its way into the product, but some of the thinking around how Acumatica approaches implementing AI, selecting the right technology, and then thinking about where do we roll it out. I think it's just pretty interesting to think about that.
So this is a breakout. You're not talking about the keynote this morning.
Not the keynote. No, this was
Oh,
there was actually an AI ML 45-minute session where they
you
kind of
got a
went
few
through the.
bullet points that you could give us from that session?
You know what? Let's see. I actually might. Let me just. I keep all this stuff in OneNote. Let me pull up. What did I write down? Um, Actually, no. So really, the takeaway for me is they kind of had this slide around how they think about which technologies to pick, and different competing. I guess you could call them. They're not really constraints, but they're things to think about when you're trying to pick the right ML engine, or when you're trying to solve a problem. Um, uh, with data that's changing, and maybe even ML engines that are adapting. And I don't know enough about it to be intelligent on it yet. But I find it fascinating that we're at a stage now where we're actually starting to see this stuff make it in the products. You know, like
Yeah,
uh,
I've always liked the slide where Acumatica would have their office location compared to Amazon's headquarters and Microsoft's headquarters. And I think
uh-huh,
the whole point in that slide is that they're not married to one or the other. They get to pick or choose on a case by case basis. And it sounds like,
right,
are you saying that it's not all, they're not all in on one engine for machine
exactly.
learning? They pick and choose depending on the situation?
Exactly, and even
Ah,
and one of the things that I think Joy mentioned in today's call is, like, even on like the AP document recognition engine, they made a shift. So when they initially released it, they had one back end engine servicing that functionality, and they pivoted, and they're for better accuracy and faster performance.
oh,
So
interesting. Do you
yeah,
remember? So the last I knew, I think it was Azure Forms. Is that still what it is? Or is that the old one?
they moved to Azure, I think.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they moved away from something called text. I think it had text in the title.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that I'm always surprised when Acumatica does, on the one hand, I kind of roll my eyes at the whole future proof saying, but on the other hand, when they do stuff like re-architect the product in .NET Core, you're like,
Right,
okay, maybe
right.
they're not
Yeah,
playing around here, right? And same
right.
there. They're not afraid to change things even midstream on something. That's
And it,
interesting.
I mean, and I think that's core to how they think about the world, right? I mean, and it's not rocket science, right? If you build on solid foundation, one, that's important, but two, you gotta evaluate that from time to time, and you got to be thinking about, it was a great foundation for 6 years ago, but is it going to be a great foundation, 5 years from now? And so, and I love the fact that they continue to make those types of investments. I mean, it just kind of drives my techie spirit that
Yeah, yeah.
the platform is the strongest piece of the whole puzzle.
There's a good Lawrence Gilliam quote right there. It's not rocket science.
I mean, it's
What
right,
about
right? Sometimes the most obvious stuff, right? You don't get it right. It's just stuff that's staring you in the face that all companies should think about, and they don't for some reason. Other priorities come in, and other motives take you away from things that you just think are common sense, right? In terms of how
But I
you would
wonder if
structure
too, a
those.
lot of it just has to do with the culture and the community that Acumatica has built. People are not expecting the thing to look the same 10 years from now. And
Exactly.
we just have a higher tolerance of things changing. And when they do change, we just assume that they're changing for the better because they've kind of built that trust with us, right? So we're just
That's a
kind of
good point.
used to a moving target and a huge list of release notes every version. And maybe
Yeah.
that just kind of that's the kind of customers they attract, and so they're allowed to move. They have that latitude to move faster with their improvements in the product.
No, I think you're right on the head there. I think that's a great point. Yep. Yep.
Interesting. Well, hey, anything like Next Tech specific that you guys did at the summit that you got going on this coming year?
So, as always, we always look forward to hosting our existing customers and prospects. So we were able to do that on Saturday. Was that Saturday? No, that was Sunday. We were able to do that on Sunday. We happy to be President's Club again. We were finalist partner of the year, so that was big for us. Looking forward to actually, finally making it on the stage as partner of the year next year. We had a lot of great momentum this year, and so I see it on my side just by the sheer number of opportunities and new businesses that I get introduced to and I get to work with on a weekly basis. And our consultant team is they're full bore, fully utilized. So that's always a good thing. So,
Yeah, I think that's a common story. COVID was very
yeah,
kind to Acumatica in terms of new deals, and now I would assume you're either in the middle or you're still on the front end of all that work that got queued up in 2021. I'm sure there's still a lot going on the consulting side.
Yeah, well, we saw the avalanche really towards the summer and fall of last year, and that just continued through the winter, the year end. And I've already been out traveling on 3 visits this year, so good to be back out in the field, actually seeing some of these companies. And yeah, it's the momentum is definitely carrying.
And did you make it, I forget, to the summit in July?
Yeah, I was here in July. Actually,
Okay.
brought my wife was able to come as well, because she's a teacher, so summer
Yeah.
events are perfect for her. So she came out, and it was yeah, we had a good time. And I actually like this resort. I mean, the wind is pretty awesome in terms of a place to have an event like this. So
It looks pretty
um,
relaxing, which I like. Not the intense Vegas strip scene that a lot of places
definitely,
are like.
definitely, it's definitely because you're down, I guess north, on the north end of the strip. So you're away from a lot of the hot spots in the middle. Um, and you can actually like walk out of here and like we did the Acumatica Fun Run this morning. So you literally make one turn and you're just running around the golf course. Yeah. So
Nice.
it's yeah, yeah.
That sounds great. Enjoy
And
that sunshine.
I'm not really Vegas person, but I can do
Yeah,
it in
me neither.
spurts and so yeah, yeah.
Well, awesome. Hey, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know we were kind of exchanging text messages
Yep.
there. Thanks for jumping on, giving us a flavor. Um, yeah. Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
No, no. Hope I'll see you soon in person.
Yeah, likewise. I hope I get to make it out there next year.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they've already announced it's back here, so we'll be back in Vegas. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
well,
Can you
good,
give us
man.
a
Well,
quick can you give us a
go ahead.
360 tour of your room there? I'm trying to get like views of the win,
Uh,
or
yeah,
or
so
give us a
we'll
view
see.
out your
Well,
window.
yeah. So
Oh, there you go. Oh,
yeah. So that's the
nice.
golf course out there, right? And airport's back that way. What's cool
That's
is every
big.
now and then the planes take off right in that direction, so they literally make a U-turn right over the hotel here. So
Nice. Nice. Well, looks like a good
yeah,
spot. With each interview, I think it's more likely I'm going to have the guts to get out there next year. So
come
thanks
on
for
out,
taking the
man.
time.
Yeah, you should definitely make it back out for the next one.
Awesome. Hey, great to see you, Lawrence. Thanks for taking the time.
All right, Tim. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye bye.